Usually, what happens with mysteries is the answers get revealed. Crimes are solved, perpetrators are identified. In the Skripal case, what's interesting is we seem to be going in reverse.
For research activities or protection, you would need, for instance, 5 to 10 grams or so. But even in Salisbury, it looks like they may have used more than that, without knowing the exact quantity. I'm told it may be 50, 100 grams or so, which goes beyond research activities for protection.
It also stretches the realms of reality. Here's some perspective. 1 drop of a Novichok nerve agent is enough to kill roughly 10 people. 100 grams, the equivalent of a small glass, would be enough to wipe out at least a neighborhood, kill thousands and thousands. Any serious chemist familiar with nerve agents will tell you as much.
Novichok is supposed to be very toxic, highly toxic, 5 to 8 times more toxic than VX, which is already very, very toxic.
What's interesting is how the head of the world's chemical weapons watchdog could possibly make such a mistake. Perhaps it was a mistake. The OPCW didn't take long to, shall we say, clarify.
The OPCW would not be able to estimate or determine the amount of the nerve agent that was used in Salisbury on the 4th of March 2018. The quantity should probably be characterized in milligrams.
Fair enough, they miscalculated. A slight exaggeration of about, 100,000-fold, but okay. Remember when Russia protested the accusation that only it could make Novichoks? No one took them seriously. In fact, the accusers were offended by the very idea.
The Russians crossed all boundaries when they said the Novichok agent could have come from the Czech Republic. That is a lie.
Fake news, right? So imagine the Czech foreign minister's face when the president then comes out and says this.
Novichok was produced and tested in the Czech Republic. It was a small quantity, though. We know when and we know where it was done. It would be hypocritical to pretend that such a thing never happened.
Remarkable. Just to think, Britain was so sure it was all solely, singularly, exclusively Russia.
It is highly likely that Russia was responsible.
We do hold Russia culpable
For the attempted murder.
You argue that the source of Novichok is Russia. How did you manage to find it out so quickly?
When I look at the evidence, I mean, the people from Porton Down, they were absolutely categorical. And I asked the guy myself, I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "There's no doubt."
Only Russia. It could only have come from Russia, said the guy over there to Boris Johnson. 100% guaranteed. Go ahead, sanction Russia. You can probably guess what happened next. There's a pattern here.
We have not verified the precise source.
To be clear, you're not able at Porton Down to say where it is from?
We haven't yet been able to do that.
So much backtracking. It might as well be back running. Yet the media hits the breaking news pedal over any scandalous statement, no matter how unsubstantiated. And every time those statements turn out to be untrue, no one cares, staying tuned only for the next sensational revelation.
Well, award-winning journalist and filmmaker John Pilger is the guest on today's edition of Going Underground. He says it's crucial for the media to question the official narrative.
I've never known a time when so-called, as you describe it, mainstream, surely a satirical term, mainstream journalism has been so integrated into a propaganda barrage. And that propaganda campaign, at the moment pointed right against Russia, suggests to me that it's the beginning of a kind of another march on Russia. I've been a journalist for a long time. I've covered many wars. I've covered the First Cold War. I've covered it from the Soviet Union. I've covered it from the United States. I would say there is a pseudo-journalism now to simply write down and swallow what governments tell you is the very antithesis of what real journalism is.